a university was created by people. I played this game and I get this degree. I saw that money is totally invented. It's not a real thing. And in that silence, I said, what else can we do as humans? What other new things can we invent that are healthier? Instead of just automatically playing these games that other people have invented, what else can we do now with a new awareness of who we are? And actually, I had a secret wish that the whole world would have a chance to go into silence. And then something kind of like that did happen. So I was one of the ones that was very excited when the world slowed down. I was like, yes. And then people say, when are we going to go back to normal? I was like, no, we don't want to go back. Let's go forward. Let's go forward.
Absolutely. Let's go forward. So let's now move forward, because we did have tragically the passing of Dr. Naram, and I know that you felt that deeply, and yet the legacy of his work and his mission is continuing through you, through the book, and through the hundreds of doctors that have studied his method. So what is the moving forward?
Well, first of all, when I came out of the silence, I told Dr. Ram, thank you, thank you for that gift. Not only you saved my father's life, but you gave me new life. And now I want to help. And so for 10 years, I was blessed and honored to travel with this master healer, someone who was his patients were people like Dalai Lama and Mother Teresa, Nelson Mandela, thousands of 9/11 firefighters and first responders, documented thousands and thousands of cases, all with the purpose that people didn't have to come to him, but that they could actually just pick up a book or go online and take a course and discover what are those 6 secret keys to have vibrant health, unlimited energy, and peace of mind. And the whole goal was I knew if he had this mission to touch every heart and every home on earth, he couldn't do it meeting with 300 people a day. I did the math. It wasn't ever going to happen. And so in the process, we were all ready to launch the book. And the most unexpected thing happened where he left the body. And, honestly, in those moments, it brought me to actually a pretty dark time. I thought that I had been working this whole time with so much devotion and so much love to do this launch so people would know that he existed, to know that he could do these things, and then he left. And I remember sitting there, and actually at the time, I don't know if you know Jack Canfield, he was co-author of Chicken Soup for the Soul. And he was in India undergoing one of the panchakarma, the deep healing processes with his wife, Inga. And I told him, I was like, I think I'm going to go for a year of silence. And I don't know what I'm going to do next. I don't know if I'm going to publish the book. I don't know what's going to happen. And, I was just in my own kind of depression. And he looked at me really strict and he says, Clint, I've read this book and I know the world does not need your silence now. The world needs your voice now more than ever, and the world needs this book. And so he put it in my mind that, okay, at least what I can do is publish this book. Now, the prayer service came for Dr. Naram, and I remember that night I was, again, just like this cloud of depression, and I felt like so much discomfort that I couldn't sleep that night. And I woke up about 5, I didn't go to sleep, but I got out of bed about 5 a.m. and I said, I just got to move my body. And I was walking around the streets of Mumbai, and I remember just feeling like someone was following me. And I looked and I couldn't see anyone. And finally I looked down and there's this dog following me. And I was like, that's so weird. So Dr. Naram, he was so soft on almost everything, but he was really strict that if a stray animal, a homeless person, someone came, we always had to give them something. There's a principle, one of the secrets, actually, one of the 3 secrets I wanted to share is called Atiti Devo Bhava. You treat the unexpected guest as if God himself or herself has come. And, I just was speaking so much, but is it okay if I share this story really briefly?
Yes, please.
So in my depression or in that cloud of confusion, all of a sudden this dog shows up and I thought, okay, at least I can, in honor of Dr. Naram, I can feed this dog. So I waited until it was morning. I got some food. I put it down and he didn't eat it. And then he just looking at me, looked at the food, sniffed it, and looked back at me. And I'm like, what do you want? What do you want? So I left and he followed me for almost 2 hours as I'm wandering the streets of Mumbai. This dog just followed me around. And then I finally went to the home of Dr. Naram where his son was there. And in the process of like him following me, it reminded me of so many secrets that Dr. Naram taught that I was too arrogant or too hard-headed to see in the moment. And I was writing them all down, and the depression faded away as I was like feeling more and more awe. I remember I did a Facebook Live video with this dog just so I could share some of the things that I was rediscovering in my heart. When we finally got to the home of Dr. Naram, I said to Dr. Naram's son, Krishna, I was like, look what is happening. I don't know how to explain it, but it's a miracle. And so at that home, we had dog food, and he started eating the dog food. Now, Jack Canfield's wife, Inga, says, the name you should call this dog is Milo, because you found him when you're at your low, Milo, and he reminded you of your love, my love. And this dog, okay, I just shared this part real briefly because it kind of gives the whole context. That night, he's still following me. I was like, what do I do? And so I went to my apartment and I just says, thank you so much for giving me the gift of your presence today. I don't know how to thank you enough. And if I see you tomorrow, I'd be happy. But if I don't ever see you again, I just want to make sure I say thank you. And I shut the door. He started barking at my apartment complex, waking people up. So I opened the door again. I put a blanket on. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. Aditi Devabhava, treat the unexpected guest as if God himself or herself has come. So I put a blanket down. I was like, here's a blanket. If you want to stay here, I'd be so happy to see you tomorrow. But if you don't, I just want to say thank you for being in my life. I shut the door. He started barking again. So then I'm like, okay, if I'm really going to treat this as if the unexpected guest is God, I probably wouldn't leave God to sleep on the doorstep. So I so hesitantly opened my door, and he went straight into my apartment. Now, it's a street dog in Mumbai. Like, people are scared of street dogs. So I'm not sure if he's going to pee on stuff, bite the fur. I don't know what's going to happen, but it was an experiment. And so then I even go to shut the door of my room to go to sleep, and he would bark again. I was like, okay, what do you want? The only way he would sleep is if he was right next to my bed with my hand on his head. And then that next day is when all the airports closed. And for 7 months, the airports were closed, and I couldn't leave India. And this dog was my companion, and actually my companion in launching not only the book, but because of his presence, many people were watching the Facebook Live videos. The next day, we went to the clinic. I called an Uber, and he hopped on my lap in the Uber. I don't know what he's going to do. Hops on my lap, and for 45-minute drive, sitting on my lap to the clinic. We get to the clinic. He goes straight to the door where Dr. Naram was, where he would see people. Actually, first of all, I'll show you the picture of Milo. So here's this beautiful dog, Milo. And then this is the very second day at the clinic of Dr. Ram. He goes in, sees the picture of Dr. Ram with the Dalai Lama, and then sits down on the floor like he belongs there. The staff saw my video before, the Facebook Live before, a video before. They came in, tears were in their eyes. I did another Facebook Live video. And then afterwards, I shut the door, and I just meditated there. And I remember the whole journey with Dr. Naram, and that the most important thing about the ancient secrets isn't about making you dependent on anyone. It's about making you independent. And yeah, I even gave this book recently. Actually, I didn't give it to her, but someone else gave it to her, to a beautiful Hollywood star, who says the favorite thing she loves about this is it always points you back to yourself. It says, what do you want? And it teaches you all the principles where you can be independent, And I thought that's the whole reason I was attracted to Dr. Ram in the first place, was because he was so humble and so loving. And this is another miracle, or amazing miracle, is this day in which this broadcast is happening is actually Dr. Ram's birthday, May 4th. You guys didn't know that, and I didn't know it, but it just feels to me like his ancient secrets having that much closer to going in every heart and every home. And so thank you for making that part happen.
That is so incredible. And I have to say, I never do a live candle on the table. And I have actually got candles here lit. And I had no idea that it would be Dr. Naram's birthday.
Let's keep them lit for the whole month.
Yeah.
I think I'd like that.
Yeah,
every show.
That is truly amazing. I think my favorite quote from the book is, I didn't come to teach you, I came to love you, and love will teach you. And I just want to say that you embody everything that Dr. Nam was here to do for us. So thank you so much for everything that you've done.
Can we talk about the resources, website, so people can really see this? You know, in half an hour, we don't really get the full story.
That's right. So where can people go, Clint, to get more?
Yeah. Oh, it's so beautiful. You know, first of all, when Milo showed up, before the book was even published, I said, you know, people want to experience miracles or things that look like miracles. Dr. Ram would always say it's actually based on an ancient science, but to you it looks like a miracle. So I started something informally. I put it out on Facebook. I was like, who wants to do a game, an experiment with me? And we called it the Miracle Experiment Game, in which you would just apply 3 principles from the book and you see what kind of miracles happen in your life. And I thought maybe 10, 15 people would sign up, but we had over 300 people sign up from all over the world. And the coolest miracles started to happen: financial miracles and health miracles, relationship miracles. One man who had been estranged from his child for over 10 years, they reunited again, and such a beautiful healing happened. A boy who hadn't talked to his mom in more than 6 years. All of a sudden the healing happened and the reconnection happened. So many things that, you know, forgiveness and so many beautiful things happened. And so I thought, why don't we do this again? So we started another one called the Global Healing Miracle Experiment. And that one, over 1,500 people participated. And through that is when someone in the call says, we need to translate this book. And so all of a sudden, within 2 weeks, we had people translated in over 30 languages. And it was so humbling to see that, you know, Dr. Ram may not be here in physical form, but definitely his spirit is moving things forward in a way that's well beyond anything I could think of. And so the gift that actually we have for people, do you want me to talk about the gift?
Yes, please do. Yeah.
So first of all, there's so many remedies for if you have, you know, arthritis, or you have high blood pressure, or you want more energy, or you want more peace, more calm in your mind. You want to boost your immunity. So many of those remedies are in there. It's like a Bible of home remedies. So we want to make sure you have those as a gift. And so we're going to create a way so that way, even if you don't get the book, you're in an area of the world for whatever reason you can't get it, you have those. So that's a gift we want to give everyone. But also for those that want to play this game, they want to do this miracle experiment experience, we have a special discount code where I think it's a huge discount. And I just want to play this game with as many people as possible. And you see for yourself, you apply the principles, those 3 secrets, and see what kind of miracles happen in your life.
Now, what is the because we're almost out of time, the website that they can go to?
Well, I would encourage everyone to go visit myancientsecrets.com. That is the overarching website for a lot of Clint's work, myancientsecrets.com. Now, for the free gift that Clint is talking about, we are putting that in the chat window for you to see. If you are watching this in your membership portal, for those who are members, scroll down below, you'll see Clint's biography, and then underneath that, you'll have the link to the free gift as well as the promotional code. So is there any last words you want to share with us, Clint?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you. You know, not only both Lee and Monica, you are so, it just lights me up when I see you. It makes me so happy, but also your community. When I was on the program last time, people came from all over the world. I was just in India and I saw 2 people from Denmark, 2 beautiful people. It's like wherever I go now, I'm surrounded by a bubble of love. You know, people have helped with the final translations of the book in Spanish, finding out how they can help with German. I met people in Italy that know and love you. And I just want to say this is one of the most beautiful, loving, conscious communities that I've ever seen or been associated with.
Thank
and
you.
so whatever you're doing, I just want to say thank you.
I'll tell you what we're doing. We're having you on our show is what we're doing.
Yes.
That's right. Thank you, my friend. And this will not be the only time we see you. So till next time, and maybe the next time you're on the show, a lot more people are seeing you now than even saw you the first time. So things are going to happen.
Yeah. We love you so much. Thank you for joining us. We are out of time, unbelievably, and we're going to take a 10-minute break, and then we'll see you all back here for the Circle of 12. Well, hello everyone. Welcome back. I am still buzzing because every time we get together with Clint Rogers, I just feel so much love emanating from him.
It's true, and we've just fallen in love with him in so many ways.
Yes.
He's such a magnificent man and a wonderful healer.
Exactly. And we're so blessed. I have a prediction. I think his work and his book is going to explode even more. So we have been truly blessed that he's actually had the time for us to do this interview with us, because I have a feeling his requests are going to come in thick and fast from all over the world.
He is all over the world.
Yes.
This Zoom came from Nepal.
Yes.
And the last time we talked to him on Zoom, it was Italy. And then we have emails that he comes from other places. We can't believe where he is.
Exactly.
So he's everywhere. He's doing such a good work.
Him and the whole team that he's behind. There are so many people within his community that can help you. So I encourage you, if you are in trouble, go and check it out.
Well, this program is all about healing, and it's again time to do what we are calling miracle moments. So we really want to honor all those who really need a healing right now in whatever form. And we're inviting you to participate in this week's Miracle Moments, where all of us can come together to help others and ourselves. I'd like to ask Monica to explain how we do this, how it works, but we know together that we can create the right energy at the right time for those who are ready to receive it.
Now, our members have a place where they can submit a request for a prayer or healing energy, and we are inviting you now to join with me to send healing energy to those who have specifically made those requests. Now, in addition, we know that there are people on this planet who are also in desperate need of this healing energy and love and would never even think to make a request. But here's the thing, Spirit knows who they are. Our loving Creator knows who they are. It may even be you who have tuned in to this program where you are in fact needing some healing energy, some love to be sent your way. And so I'm inviting everyone to participate in sending energy and love to create a miracle moment for those who are requesting it to happen. And so with that invitation, I invite you to join me and send some love, compassion, healing energy out into the field so that those requesting it can feel that wave of love emanating from us, descending down upon them. And as we amplify this field of love that we are creating, I now invite you to consider all of the friends and relatives connected to those who have submitted this request of receiving unconditional love, compassion, healing energy. And just visualize a blanket being sent around the world, and it slowly descends and wraps around those who are in need. And as we continue amplifying this wave of love that we are building and creating, I invite you to consider those beautiful, precious children whose parents have been requesting healing energy to be sent to their beautiful, precious children. We send them our love, compassion, healing energy. And let us extend that to all children on the planet right now, whose primary role is to just exist in love and joy and happiness. Let us send all children everywhere a wave of love, compassionate energy, healing energy. And I would like to remind you, as this wave keeps building, that you are included. And so allow yourself in this moment to also receive that blanket of love that is being generated and sent around the planet. Allow yourself to receive that love and know that the more you are able to receive it, the greater you can amplify that and send it back out in an infinity loop. And let us not forget the precious animals on the planet, some of which have come to be with the beloved humans that choose to be with them. Some of those animals are in distress and need our help. And so visualize sending love, compassionate energy, healing energy to the beloved pets that are in distress and need help right now. We just send love back to them as they give to us. And let us extend that wave to give gratitude and thanks and love to all animals that we share this beautiful planet with. And we acknowledge and thank our partner, Gaia. And we acknowledge and thank our partner, the Creator. And so with this energetic posture, we are ready to come a little closer to Kryon.
Greetings, dear ones. I am Kryon. Come a little closer. This is the Circle of 12. It's a time of meditation, visualization if you wish to, or simply to sit and be loved and listen. It's always about human empowerment and the love for you and your soul, always. They would say, from many, they would say, what is the purpose, Kryon? What is the agenda here? Everyone has an agenda. Let me tell you, let me ask you to judge the agenda. I want you to feel love from God, from yourself, from all of those around you who are esoteric and invisible, some of whom you don't even believe in. There are so many more. That's the agenda. That's it. Self-discovery has been the agenda for these last months. Last month I gave you numbers of channels, numbers of circles of 12. This is a special one. So many people are seeing it. So I have wanted to make this one different, a little different. It's like some of the others because it has to do with timing. Now we continue speaking of timing and cycles because there are so many layers to these. Some have called it drilling down into a more specific attribute of the same teaching. And that's what we're doing. So some of you have heard this kind of thing before. In fact, several weeks ago, I sat in front of a live group, a group of individuals who had come for a live Circle of 12. And I gave them this meditation. Now I'm going to give it to you. This one is esoteric. It is hard to imagine, to believe. And so we ask you to become multidimensional just for a moment. And what that truly means is anything goes when it comes to that which you don't believe. Now, that's a tough one. It's tough for a human being to set aside linearity, for instance, where perhaps things float around you because gravity is not there, or the timing is not there, or your clock stops. It's a unique thing, multidimensionality, and it is the way of things in the universe, but not where you are on your planet. You are linear. That has to be the way it is, so that you can make the decisions of light and dark, change that which is the attributes of your planet. And that's what you're here for, old soul. But this particular exercise, this meditation, takes you across a bridge, if you wish to visualize that or pretend. And in that, something different happens. And that's the reason we take you across that bridge. It's a demarcation for your own linearity to say, turn the page, open the door, we're going to do something different. And when we do that difference, it's like suddenly you're going into a dream state, or suddenly you're watching a movie, or perhaps reading a book where everything is different, and you buy into that difference because it's a story. That is a parable. It's a metaphor. And that particular attribute that we're doing today is the story or the book or the movie, whatever you want to pretend about the real you. You see, where you are right now is the linear you. That's the one that comes and goes and comes and goes on this planet. And you call it life on earth. I've told you so many times. You have had so many lives, not on earth. This is what you do, old soul. New souls who are watching, and I know you're there, I want you to understand how valued you are. That perhaps this time around you'll see it, but right now perhaps it seems odd or strange, and you don't want to listen much because something's not right, you might say. And what's not right is you haven't lived long enough to accept this. But you will. There are some new souls that are being born right now that are different, that have been brought here to listen, because these new souls are aware they're new, and at the same time, they recognize this energy. Children do, you know. Before you're 6, you all know about this energy, and somehow life trains you out of it, or your parents talk you out of it, or your friends talk you out of it. But you know where you've come from. And you also know that there's life after death. That's intuitive information. I want to talk about this life that you're existing in right now. That's your life, not a future life, not a past life. But I want to talk about the beginning of this life. Now, you've heard me do this before, but let's do it together. Take my hand right now and let's cross this bridge. Moving through the mist that obfuscates what's coming, a metaphor for going into a land that's so different you can't even visualize it or see it. And there you are. Wherever this is you want to be, you've all had dreams. And you know in dreams nothing makes sense. And it may not make sense here. Even what I'm going to tell you, I'll use words that don't make sense perhaps. Because you have no model in your linearity that matches what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to take you to when you decided to come to the planet and be born. Come with me through a door. And this door, you might say, is a portal, and we use that word loosely. That is something that you understand. A portal is often a focus point that's spiritual. And so today it's a door and you're going through it. None of those things truly are accurate. Not in multidimensionality, but for you need to paint a picture, and that's the picture, a door. But over the door there's a name, and this one is very easily readable. And it says, heroes enter here. Another one that you'll run across says, heroes in the making. And you go right through it. And I'll show you and tell you why. Come with me for a moment to something that some of you cannot visualize and cannot imagine. So pretend for a moment you're watching a movie, or you're reading an adventure book, and there are souls waiting to come into this planet the day you were born. You're one of them. And when you come in, you're very aware that you're coming into an old energy earth that may very well change, an old energy earth that might change in either direction, light or dark. That's when you were born. Because when most of you were born who are listening to this, there was still a chance that this would be the end of civilization. Now, why would I say that? Look at all of the predictions from your scriptures. Take a look. It said, within that which you call the 2000s, starting in the year 2000, you may have what was described as the end of the world, the Armageddon. There are more predictions of that than anything else that you can find. Not only that, there's so many of your movies and your novels and all that had it happen. And that's the I would say the storyline. Take a look. Even today, that's the storyline. So ingrained in humanity was it that you all expected it. And it didn't happen. But you didn't know that when you came in. That was the biggest potential. Are you listening? That was the biggest potential. As you stood there, as a soul about to come into this planet, you had chosen your family. We've talked about that. We've chosen your gender. We talked about that. We talked about the timing of your incarnations. We've talked about that. There you are, standing, ready to go into that, which we'll even call the birth canal, or the wind of birth we've often mentioned. That's a metaphor for the wind of love, which you're about to step into, which takes you right to the planet to start another life. And you're all very aware of what's going on, where you are, the timing of it, and what might happen. And you came anyway. You came anyway. You want to be more graphic with this? Old soul, as you are listening to me, I was there. And you knew it. You may be stepping into a world where you, your family, everything you love would be incinerated in World War III. And you looked into it and you said, I'll take a chance because I'm an old soul and I know that there's an opportunity with the precession of a shift. And if we don't destroy ourselves, I want to be there. I want to be there for the shift because I've got something to contribute. Light, high consciousness, I'm going in. Is this dramatic for you? Is it too dramatic for you? Is it a laughable adventure? That's what you did. That's what you did. Heroes. Everyone, you came into this place called Earth, where you're sitting right now with the knowledge that horror might occur in your life. And you came anyway. And then you wonder why it is the Spirit has accolades for you or loves you the way we do. Now you know. Now you know there's so much more to you than you've ever been told. The beginning, even before you ever got here, the timing is spectacular. We're going to talk about it even more, about that's what you had in the past, perhaps, or I'll even give it away. Perhaps you even died early so you could come back at this time, the last incarnation. We'll talk about that. But for now, I want you to just think on these things, standing there at the wind of birth, ready to come into the earth at the minute you were born, timing perfectly. The astrology you needed for you, perfect. And knowledge that you might not make it. I want to celebrate all of you because you did make it. And this is the shift. And now a whole nother energy of the planet begins. And you are in it. This is a spectacular time where you will be part of a victory of light. A big victory. It's going to take a while. It's going to take longer than you want. It is quite slow, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. But at every step, you will see a different planet today than the last time you were here, or even if you measure 20 years ago, perhaps, or even 50 if you're a senior. You'll know it's very different today. Even as the population increases, it's an oxymoron. It should get worse. But dear ones, light makes a difference. Awareness, compassion, love. That's why we love you the way we do. I want you to ponder this love, and I want you to stay right here. Stay and just think about it. Sit and be loved as we love you. Just sit there and think about how much you are loved. trillions in the universe who know what you've done and why, and are watching and loving and helping. And so it is.